Okay, welcome to this session of physics, and this is going to be solutions to JAM physics calculations. Every calculations we have in physics, we want to look at how to solve the questions and other questions that are very available for you as a JAM standard physics calculation. And here you are going to see that so many examples or questions to be solved to you rather, and follow the step-by-step way of which the question has been solved to have understanding of it. And some students makes slight mistakes in exam because they are not conversant with some of the things or some of the way to solve the exam, and that is going to be looked at in this aspect. Once again, welcome to this session as we go into the calculations. A force of 50 Newton acts on a 10 kilogram object initially at rest. Calculates the velocity of the object after 5 seconds. And this is what we have seen as Newton's second law application. So let's see what we have in the solution. Now from here we could see that a force of 50 Newton, we are given the force which is F, and this is 50 Newton, acts on 10 kilogram object. That's the mass. Mass M is 10 kilogram. Initially at rest. That means the initial velocity, which is U, is 0. Then calculate the velocity of the object after the time. That means we want to calculate the final velocity. Final velocity. Velocity. That's V, and V is unknown, or we are given the time. The time T is given as 5 seconds. So from here we could see that force is equals to mass times acceleration, and that's the second law. And from here our force is given, we have the mass, then we need to calculate the acceleration. So acceleration is going to be force over mass, and that's going to give us 50 Newton divided by the mass, which is 10 kilogram, and that will give us 5 meter per second square. That's the acceleration. Then we can now use this in the equation of motion. That means using kinematic equation, using kinematic equation. And when you use kinematic equation, what do you have? That's V equals to U plus AT. Now V equals to 0 plus A, which is 5, and T, which is also what? 5. So from here, we could see that our V is equals to 25 meter per second, and that's the velocity you are asked to calculate. So, and that is the way to solve that question in a very simple and demystified way, as we have said. Now, let's see how we are going to solve this question on the multiple forces on the body. And the question, which is question number 2, says two forces, 20 Newton and 30 Newton, acts at 90 degrees to each other on a 5 kilogram mass. Find the acceleration of the body. Now, let's see how we are going to solve this. Now, two bodies are acting at 90 degrees and the magnitude are 20 Newton and 30 Newton. So you have two forces acting at 90 degrees, and the first force is 20 Newton while the second is 30 Newton as 90 degrees. So here we are going to find the resultant force. The resultant force, that's what we are going to find. And so that is F resultant. So the resultant force is the first thing we are going to use to determine the acceleration of the body. We are given the mass. So, and that is going to be F resultant is equals to the square root of F1 square plus F2 square. So let's assume this is our F1 and this is our F2. So in that case, it's going to be the square root of 20 square plus 30 square. And as you can see, that's going to give us the square root of 400 plus 900. And that's going to be the square root of 1300. And the square root of 1300 will give us 36.06 Newton. 36.06 Newton. So from there, we can now use the Newton seconds law, and which says that F is equals to mass times acceleration. So here acceleration is going to be force over mass. And what is the force? That's 36.06 Newton divided by the mass. We are given the mass from the question. That's 5 kilogram. 5 kilogram. So that is 5 kilogram. And that's going to give us, when you work it, that's 7.21 meter per second square. 7.21 meter per second square. You can see the way it is being solved step by step. And that is one of the things will be coming up in this course of all solutions to physics question, JAM physics question, and also chemistry physics question. Chemistry question rather for JAM and mathematics. It will be going to be solved for you in a demystified way like this. So you can see this is step by step and you can go through it, watch it again and again to have understanding of it. So let's see what we have in the next part. Now let's see what we have in the third part of the question. That is force on an inclined plane. And the question says that a 5 kilogram block is plane on a smooth 30-degree inclined plane. It's placed, sorry about that. It's placed on a smooth 30-degree inclined plane. Find the acceleration of the block due to gravity. And from here, let's see how we are going to solve the question. Now, that a 5 kilogram block is placed on a smooth inclined plane. That means let's assume this is how we have the inclined plane. Now we have the object placed on an inclined plane. This angle here is where you have the 30-degree, and the mass is 5 kilogram. So find the acceleration of the block due to gravity. From here, the components of the weight along the inclined plane, that's what will determine that. So I have the component of the block along the inclined plane is going to be F equals to mg sine theta. F equals to mg sine theta. And from here, you are going to get the value for the F, which is going to be mass times the acceleration due to gravity and the sine. So, and the mass as we are given, that is 5 times 9.8, then times sine 30. And that's going to be from here, this is 49 times 0.5. And it's going to be 24.5 Newton. 24.5 Newton. And that is the force. Then find the acceleration. For you to find the acceleration, so acceleration is equal to F over m. And what is our F? 24.5 Newton and divided by the 5. So the final answer here is going to be 4.9 meter per second square. And that is the easiest way to solve the question. As you can see, very fast and demystified way to solve the question, as you can see here. So we are going to be having this, like I said, More of these questions should be expecting, or you should be expecting, and in a demystified way where it has been solved for you. This will enable you to understand and to be able to get the highest score in physics. Yes, you can score 90 above in physics when you're able to go through all this. We have questions compiled like this with over 3,000 questions that covers for mathematics, chemistry, and physics. So this will help you more to get a good score in your physics exam in JAM that is coming forth.